Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk with you about dynamic NFTs and some approaches that we can use with them. So, my name is Solange Gueiros. You can call me Sol. Are my social networks. I have all my previous workshops on my website as well in Portuguese, English, and Spanish, and I came from Brazil. So let's start. When we talk about NFTs representing something can be like these tickets, real estate, art, badges. It's a certificate of your property. And I really like to say that I am a dynamic NFT. And all of you are dynamic NFTs as well. And why is that? Because we are unique. Our DNA is unique, but we are changing all the time. We are being older. I hope to be not fat, but my body is changing as well. So it's this. I can say that we are dynamic NFTs, and we are changing in the same way that we can have the NFTs. When I talk about some technical aspects about NFTs, we must talk, the NFT is not necessary that it has an image, okay? But it's good to have, something like that. And when we have this image in our NFT, we can do that like being off-chain, can be decentralized like using IPFS, or you can store the image on-chain. These are two different approaches. Today here, I'm doing one on-chain with you as well. Also, in the same way that we have the images, we have the metadata. And how is this? This, again, is not an obligation, but this is a standard created by OpenSea. And the way that they structure their NFTs, if you do in the same way, we can list our NFT in OpenSea directly, doing nothing else. And this is so cool. I'm doing this with you as well. And how they structure this, what is this standard? The standard is this kind of JSON file with the name, description, the image, and some attributes that can be wherever. What would you like to have in your NFT, okay? And also, I could create my metadata off-chain, even in IPFS or in a centralized server, or I can do this on-chain. I'm doing it on-chain as well, like this. So, going forward to the dynamic NFTs, you know that you are a dynamic NFT now. Let's understand how can we make some NFT be dynamic. The idea is that we are changing something in the NFT. Can be the visual appearance or the attributes, some stats, the ownership rights. All of this could be done using a dynamic NFT. And when I'm changing some NFT, I'm using some conditions that can be anything external, like using oracles. We are using oracles here, or even the smart contract logic or the interaction with the user itself. Okay. And because I'd like to use external conditions, I'd like to use oracles. And here are some examples that I could use to update my NFT, some scores, experience, the weather itself, and finance. I'm using the weather here. We are really using an API to get the weather and to create an NFT on that, and I can update this NFT later, okay? So, like I said, I can update all of this on my NFT. And remember that when I'm talking about an NFT, I will create with you a collection, and inside this collection we have the NFTs itself that they are unique. And is this. My goal is to interact with the world. So my goal is interact with the weather, okay? And to do that, I'm using oracles. I'm using blockchain oracles. And what is an oracle? An oracle is the way that you can connect your blockchain, your smart contract inside the blockchain with any data source or external resources like this: temperature, satellite information, my watch, sports, any financial information that this is the stronger one. And in order to do that, the way that we get this external information and bring it to the blockchain could be only one node that is getting this information. But if you do this on this way, can be compromised. You cannot trust so much because it's only one. So like a blockchain that is decentralized, we have many nodes doing that. If we have a decentralized Oracle network, not a blockchain, but only a network that is getting the information and getting some consensus related to that information, you can trust this more than everything. And this is what's Chainlink that I'm using here now. I am a DevRel manager at Chainlink Labs. And Chainlink, you get all kind of informations in a decentralized way. Always being more than one node to get that, okay? And to do this here now, I'm using external APIs with Chainlink functions. So what's Chainlink functions? Imagine that you have your smart contract in Solidity, and inside your smart contract, you are executing a JavaScript code in a decentralized way and getting a consensus in the result and bring it to your smart contract. So it's not only one node that is executing your JavaScript code. We have more than one executing. They should have the same result. And then a callback function to your smart contract to receive the answer. Okay? Is this? So I have some examples here for you that you can try later. All of them are on this website, like flight status, NASA asteroid information, temperature, Google Maps, football results, all of this. Okay? And this is what I'm doing now, live with you. Okay? If you'd like to do with me, you can grab your computer. And I have this done. This I made like yesterday night. I am doing another one here live. And you'll be like this. I have the NFT. This image is an SVG. I can create the image inside my smart contract here. And I have in each of them the information of the weather, and like I can have a bit more in the attributes. Let's go here, only to you understand this. So here is the weather functions NFT that I created yesterday night. Let's see how was São Paulo, my city. So it was like a cloudy, some sun, 13 degrees, and okay. And how was Can? It seems that it will be rainy today. At least I got this information like midnight, 26 degrees. And Paris was crazy. It's 38, 37. It was really crazy. We are good here. Yeah, for sure. Here, 38. Wow. And my goal is to create this and change some of them live with you as well. Okay? So let's do this. I'm explaining a bit more what I'm doing, and I have the code as well. I'm sharing the presentation with you with all the links, all the code for you. You can do this later. Only to have an overview before related to the requirements. So I'm using Sepolia. Yesterday night I made on Avalanche Fuji testnet. Today I'm using Ethereum Sepolia. In order to do that, you must have the link, the token itself, so Ethereum Sepolia. We must have a link in that network to pay the fees to use the Chainlink functions. I have the instructions to add the link token in your wallet and to get some tokens over there as well. And this is my code, so I have two smart contracts that I'm deploying live with you. One is the NFT itself. The other one will be the functions where I'm calling the Chainlink functions with the weather API. Okay, I could put the weather API here. I can add this as well for you. Okay, And this is the kind, how can I use this? I'm getting the temperature in some city. And after that, I can decide if I can mint an NFT or update another NFT that I minted before. This means to have the NFT in a dynamic way. Okay? And by the way, if I have the smart contract with the functions itself, I can have even use different NFTs because I can set up the NFT, changing the address of my NFT. This is another approach of this. So let's do this live. Then I have other approaches to show with you, but this is the hands-on part. So here I am on Remix. I already connected my Remix with MetaMask. Is done, like 5 minutes ago. And first of all, I'd like to deploy my NFT itself. Okay, this is the NFT. Remember that I told you that it's here. Okay, here is the code for the NFT to use later. And I'm deploying and explain a bit for you because this NFT, I think it's so cool the way that we have the image and everything inside. So let's deploy it first. So confirm this, and I can explain this for you. It's good for you. I think the size is good. So you can see that I'm using only libraries from OpenZeppelin, so standard, really basic here. But what is different here is the way that I'm updating the image itself. So I have the token ID, that's the unique part of my NFT, the city, that I'm passing here, and how is the weather in that city, okay? After that, I can see, let's get something, I'd like to have something for you. Wait a minute here. Weather, APIs. Should be, here. This. So I'm using this. This is the API that I'm using. Okay, you can see that change from yesterday. So this will be good to update something. Yesterday I made another chain, but let's see. You can update the same NFT. So this is the API that I'm using over there. And you can see here how I'm creating the metadata of my NFT. Like getting the city. The description is the same for everyone. And this is the way that I'm using the SVG. I'm generating the SVG here. And if you can see over there, I have the city, the icon itself, and some information. So I'd like to get this first character, that this is the icon that I'm using on my NFT. Okay? And I'm doing this here. So getting first the icon, then building the image itself. Okay, and you can have how many attributes you'd like to have. I have the city name and the weather itself, that will be like this part. Okay, and after that, let's go to the image. The image itself, I choose this color that you saw before, like this is the color, my background color. I could do random colors using VRF or even change one by one. I decided to have like a clean color here. And this is the way that I'm creating the SVG itself. You can see here that I'm only adding the icon in the SVG format. It's really simple. It's important to you to understand this ABI.encoded pack to join the strings. This is the key part here, okay? And getting the first character, and this. Okay, this is the NFT itself. Let's pin to be sure that it's good. Okay, and now I'd like to mint an NFT. In order to do that, I'm deploying the other smart contract that this will be with Chainlink functions. So let's go to the other one. Weather functions. Sepolia, like the NFT doesn't matter which chain because I'm not using any external service, but for the weather functions itself, I must connect with the Chainlink router in that chain. So the router has different addresses in the chain. So I create one hard-coded for Fuji and another hard-coded to Sepolia that I'm using now, okay? And in order to do that, I must have a kind of account on Chainlink functions and use my account number here. So how can I do that? If you go here, you can see that not the interface, but the weather functions. I must add the functions subscription ID. And I can go here and see that I can have some subscriptions here. I'm using this another old one from March. I could create a new one now, but only to be faster. You can create a new one. And you can see contracts that are using this subscription now. So I can have many smart contracts using it. So copy my subscription ID using here and deploy. Okay, my weather functions, it's prepared to use my subscription ID. But I may also must add my smart contract in the subscription itself, like you saw here that I have the contracts here, okay? So since I have this deployed, it's here. Let's do the other part. Let's add this over there as well, add consumer. And let's understand this a bit more, because this is the cool part here. So I have the interface of my NFT, and what I'm using from the NFT itself, I'm using only the mint function and the update SVG to make this dynamic. So only these two. And the contract itself, the cool part is this. This is the JavaScript code that I have inside my smart contract, and this is the way that I can call this API. Okay, this is the cool part here. And after that, I'm always saving like the last city, temperature, the NFT address itself, and who is sending that to mint to them later. Okay, I'm only getting the last one. If you'd like to manage like many requests in the same time, I should create some array to do that. Okay, this is the simple way to do it. And what else I have here? I get the temperature itself. This is doing the request, that JavaScript code that you saw before. This is sending to the functions network. And then when they have the response, the consensus on that, I will have the response here in the fulfill request. So my smart contract must have a fulfill request. Okay? Then is this, I can define my NFT over there and decide if I'd like to mint or update it. Let's see, it's added, good. I have 9 links here, all good as well. So let's start to get some cities over there. First city, let's go to Cannes. Here we are. Oh no, what I made wrong. Wow. Let's see, something's wrong here. In order to not deploy this live, what I'm doing, I will change my network to the other one that I know that's working. Then I come back here. Yeah. To be sure that I didn't check this network yesterday. So let's go to the safe way now. So I updated here. And you can see over there that I have the other one, the NFT itself, the function itself. Yes, what's changed here as well. Let's see if I change here for Fuji as well. Yes, and temp weather that I was doing exactly this. 1 of July. Yes, this was the last one. We are good. The cool part to use this is that I can update exactly that NFT that you saw before. Where is that I lost it now? This. I'm updating this exactly. So remember that you saw that São Paulo was not like sunny anymore. We saw that this changed. So my goal will be update this NFT, okay? So let's come back here again that I have the other one deployed and get São Paulo again. And probably I have a problem. Sometimes when you have an error that you didn't continue on the remix now will be like freeze like this. So let's fix this as well. Okay, connect again. Yes, now I'm connecting the right one. Go to Fuji now, not Sepolia. This could be a problem at that moment as well. And I have the contract here, and now I can try to go to São Paulo. Yes. Oh. It's so dangerous to do things live. Is this. So I know that I made the request. If I came here now, probably I have a request in some place. Yes, you can see that I have a request over there. Like for some seconds extra, I will have this done. Probably. I don't know if it's done now. I can only get here, let's go, for example, to the last temperature. And you can see that's changed. And it's the same that we got here. So it's updated. If I came here now, this is not pending anymore. It's really fast, okay? So not pending, all good. And, okay, I have a new temperature here. What I'd like to do now, would I like to update my NFT or create a new one? I'd like to update that you saw before, okay? I could do this in an automated way, but for now, exactly to understand all the steps, I created on this way. I have no idea what is the idea of this. So if I go here, I can see that this is the index number 2. It's small here, but it's the number 2, okay? So I'd like to update the NFT number token ID 2. What I'm doing now, I'm really calling that update SVG function that you saw before, this function. And where I got the city and the weather itself, you can see that when I try to update, here, I'm using the last city and the last temperature that I saved here. Like I said before, if I'd like to manage many of them, I should have some array with all the requests. So, but for now, I'd like only the last one. And probably is updated. I'd like to update it here. I'm creating a copy because to update this, I must go and refresh the metadata. And sometimes, this is another trick part and annoying. I updated, I refresh, it's go to the new one and come back to the other one because of some cache. Let's see if this will happen. You saw? Yeah, but it's right. I know that's right. And probably if I came in here, yeah, here you can, it's only the image. Here you can see that is right. But it's changed. I just updated my NFT now. And here you'll be right. Yeah, you can see that São Paulo changed. And I updated my NFT. Okay. Like I said, you can do this with some automation, even directly in the callback of the Chainlink functions, or using Chainlink automation to do this by time or related to some log. In fact, I have another version where when I do that, I emit this event minted, and I have a automation that is listing this, and then mint the NFT. So we can do this in different ways. So this is the practical part. Let's see another approach. I have 10 minutes. Let's show other approaches for you as well. And remember, all of this that I made now, you have here on my presentation, and I'm sharing the code. I can share this now and later again, but to be sure that you have this. This is the presentation. If you'd like to get the QR code, there are many links inside. Okay, one more. Okay, let's come back where I was before. I was here. So we saw that. So what I made over there, get temperature, I defined the city, then I can set up the NFT address, I made it before on that. I can mint the NFT or update that NFT, okay? And how can I use the dynamic NFTs directly with automation, like I said before? And why I'm using automation. If you have a smart contract, the smart contract cannot call itself and to discover some conditions. Example, I have a payment to receive every first day of the month. The smart contract itself doesn't know where is the first day of the month. I should call a function every day and ask, hey, is this the first day of the month? Can I receive my payment? Something like that. I could do a centralized bot to call this function for me, or I could use automation to do that because this is a decentralized way. This is what is automation. And there are many approaches. I could do this like by time, call my function every day, every hour. I could do this, the trigger could be a log event, like I showed you before. I have the event mint it, and then my automation will monitor when this event is triggered and do something for me, like mint the NFT. I could have some condition, like a check upkeep, where I'm checking, checking that smart contract if the person has more than 5 NFTs. If not, mint an NFT to this person, something like that, or to balance some account, send money, transfer tokens. This is an old example that I have. It is a dynamic flower that is growing by minute, and I'm changing only the image. It's an example for you. I could change NFTs as well with random numbers, and Chainlink VRF do that. And why I should do that? Imagine that I have some, the runners is here. Yes, the runners are here. This is another game that I created, where each of these characters are running, and the amount of kilometers that they are going forward depends of a random number. They can run 10 kilometers, 100 kilometers, something like that. So this is another approach of a dynamic NFT, that I'm not changing the image itself, but only the route and the amount of kilometers of them. Also, we could have a cross-chain NFT. So we have two different approaches. You can have the same NFT in different chains and say, this is active on that one, not this one. You could update the image of the NFT itself, and you could update the attributes, what is active or no, or even to have the same NFT in different chains, and what is working on this chain and another part is working only in the other chain. You can do something like that with the same idea of the NFT, for example. Okay? And this is another workshop that you can check it out later. It's about an NFT that I'm minting one chain, but I'm starting another chain. The NFT is based on the Bitcoin price. And if the Bitcoin is going up after the last time that I minted one NFT, I will be happy, or I will be sad, or I will be flat if the price didn't change. And the background color depends on the chain itself. So here, Sepoly is blue, Avalanche is red, Polygon was purple. And in order to do that, how can I get the Bitcoin price, by the way? I'm using the Chainlink data feeds. And imagine that this is another approach of the decentralized Oracle network. Like on functions, I told you that each of the node in the network are executing the same code. Here, no. Here, each of the node is getting a price from a different source. Then we have the consensus in that price, like based in the volume and the price itself. And then you have the final price. So it's a different approach of using a decentralized Oracle network to get a price. And related to quotes, this is the most common approach. Okay, you can get this information here in that.chain.link. And to do the cross-chain part, I'm using the CCAP. And remember, blockchain, it's an isolated network, so I must have some external component to do communication between them. This is what is CCAP. I could send tokens directly to other blockchain, or I can send messages. And in fact, I'm sending a message, which is the mint command in a other, in a smart contract in another blockchain. This is the goal. Okay. Is this I can send tokens and messages, and imagine that you can do both. This is another example that I have, that I send a token, and based in the amount of tokens, I'm minting an NFT in a different color or with a different face, something like that. But I'm using both, send the token and mint the NFT itself. The workflow, only to understand a bit more of this, did you hear about some bridges that was hacked before? And this is a big challenge between chains. The different approach here is to have 3 different decentralized networks. One that is committing committing the transaction in the other network. Another that is like take care of all the risks, like is this transaction really made from that chain, is the same amount, and check all the variables that we can have. And then we have the executing done that really send the transaction to the blockchain itself. Okay? All of these are in the developer hub. I think it's, I talked too much. It's 2 different approaches for you, and I hope that you can study later. And any of you are being the hackathon in the weekend? Yes, see you over there. Chainlink is a sponsor. I have another workshop over there, and I will be mentoring, and it'll be my pleasure to be with you. So this is the example that I told you before related to the NFT-based price. The presentation again, I think you have it. And this is me. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you so much. I have 2 minutes. Do you have any question? It seems not. See you around. Bye, everyone.